You wander through the wreckage of your yesterday, stepping over the broken planks of discarded dreams and half-buried hopes, each shattered fragment a testament to the fierce ambitions you once carried. You have learned to fear these ruins, to skirt their edges with polite detachment, as though the collapse of your plans were shameful monuments you must never touch. But today you will stop at nothing but the raw truth, that within these very ruins lies the ore of your greatest power. You let your foot press against a jagged beam, sending splinters of memory arcing into the air. Moments when you soared too close to the sun, when you believed in an ideal so fully that you forget the world might not bend to your will. You recall the sting of failure, the cold ache of disappointment that settled in your gut and whispered you were not enough. You remember the tears you shed in the dark, the quiet surrender you offered to the night. Yet here you stand, body intact, spirit battered but unbowed. You inhale, and the musty scent of upturned history fills your lungs, with smoke, damp earth, and the tang of iron. You sense life stirring beneath the debris, unseen roots weaving through cracks, small shoots lifting toward the scant light that filters through the skeletal rafters overhead. Nature knows well how to reclaim what is broken. She invites you to follow her lead. You breathe out the last of your resistance and step fully into the tangle, determination igniting behind your ribs. You crouch beside a pile of uprooted floorboards stacked like tombstones. You run your fingers along their splintered edges and feel the grain of stories. Lies believed, promises made and crushed, risks taken and abandoned. You whisper to yourself, "These are not dead things but dormant seeds." You rise, heft a board across your shoulders and carry it forward. Each plank you lift becomes an act of reclamation, each step an affirmation that ruin need not equal erasure. You come upon a collapsed wall, bricks strewn like red pollen across the dust. You pause before the gap it leaves, a wide, gaping hole opening onto the open air beyond. You feel an impulse to rebuild it exactly as it was, to restore the shape of safety you once knew. But you decide instead to widen the opening, to let light stream in where darkness reigned. With steady hands, you begin to pry loose the next brick, freeing it from its old place. You tuck it carefully beneath your arm, considering how you might repurpose it. For a hearth, for a threshold, even for a monument to this moment of transformation. You press on through the wreckage, gathering planks and stones that once served narrow purposes, walls, floors, ceilings, and now serve you anew. You dream of a new structure rising from the ruins, not built from the cold perfection of old blueprints, but from the warm, flawed character of salvaged parts. You envision a space that bears the texture of struggle, whose very walls echo with the stories of breakdown and breakthrough. This will be your sanctuary, a place that honors both the pain of collapse and the promise of arrival. You hoist a weathered beam upward and feel its weight settle in your muscles. You carry it to the clearing you've claimed, where the stale air is now replaced by a breeze rippling through the opening in the wall. You lay the beam across two sturdy stones, crafting a makeshift bench, your first bench born of ruin. You sit, and the world tilts gently off its axis for a moment, as though acknowledging this minor act of creation. You close your eyes and breathe deeply, feeling the pulse of possibility vibrating through the floor beneath you. In the hush you summon memories of other ruins you carry inside. The remnants of relationships, the heartbreaks that felled you, the ideals you were forced to abandon. You open your hands and imagine placing those inner fragments beside the beams and bricks. You whisper to the wind, "Take what no longer serves me and let new life rise here." You feel a small shift under your ribs, as though your own shattered pieces are gathering purpose in the clearing. You stand and walk to the far edge of the rubble, where a single beam leans at a precarious angle, still affixed to a fragment of ceiling joist. You examine it, aged wood, cracked but sound in its grain, crowned by a tangle of lichen. You realize this leaning post could become the central column of your new structure. a pillar born of collapse. You swagger it gently with your foot, testing its balance, and decide to leave it as it stands, an emblem of resilience and asymmetry. You move on to gather more stones, shaping them into a low wall that frames your clearing, an embrace rather than a barrier. You think of the walls you have erected in your life, defenses built out of pride, cynicism, self-protection. Here you craft a different wall, one that invites passage and frames possibility. As each stone settles into place, you whisper its purpose. This stone marks grace. This stone marks daring. This stone marks rebirth. The stones absorb your words as though they hunger for meaning and give it back in silent solidity. You work until the light on the horizon begins to fade, painting the sky in molten gold and ash. You pause, brush sweat from your brow, and survey the transformation, a clearing no longer cluttered by ruin but woven through with reclaimed life. You stand amid your handiwork and feel the heft of brokenness shift beneath your feet, from obstacle to foundation. You realize that the power you sought beyond these walls was never outside. It was buried here in every discarded plank, every upturned brick, every shard of your own past. You collect your thoughts as you would collect precious fragments, tucking them into the pockets of your mind. You vow to carry the memory of this work into each new day, to see every setback as a fallen beam awaiting your reclamation. You walk back through the ruins toward the world you once feared, many pieces left behind but more carried with you, transformed pieces, each charged with your newfound purpose. You sense the light of dawn before the sun has risen, as though your inner clearing radiates outward, igniting corridors of possibility through the charred remains of complacency. You emerge from the rubble into open ground, your arms filled with planks and stones you could not carry. You look back once at the wreckage now partially repurposed, and you whisper a parting benediction. Thank you for what you taught me. You turn and step forward, each stride measured by the weight of your reclaimed strength. You carry the bench, the stones, the beam with you, symbols of the alchemy you performed, turning ruin into resource, collapse into creation. You will build again, both within and without, each project a testament to the courage that rose from the ashes. You will not forget to return to the clearing, to rest on your bench beneath the leaning post, to listen to the transformed echoes of your past. You have discovered the secret hidden in the ruins, that destruction is the raw material of reinvention. You have learned not to fear the broken places, but to excavate them, to breathe into them, to rise with them. In the very heart of wreckage you have found your forge, your loom, your sanctuary, and most importantly, you have found the unyielding resource of your own becoming.